Greetings and welcome to the Building Men Podcast, a ministry of Iron Sharpens Iron. You can also see the video on YouTube.
And it's Brian Doyle with Iron Sharpens Iron with Thomas and Rex. And we have a great podcast today. And target audience for today are men who are influencers right there in your own local assembly, your local church, your local congregation, your community, where there's other men. And we hope that today will give you some light bulb moments. I know it has for me, to really understand why men will, why men won't, what's going on, how men are different. We're going to use a tool that we've created over the years. We created it with the purpose of helping leaders, pastors, leaders, elders, overseers, mobilize men to an off-site event like Iron Sharpens Iron. And it's worked very well. And what it surprised me is that the principles we're going to talk about right now actually work for all kinds of ministry to men. Not just that once a year Iron Sharpens Iron. These are principles that are specific to influencing men. So if you're discipling men, if you want to disciple men, if you're leading a small group of men, these principles are for you. So there's 6 of them. We're just going to take a couple minutes on each one. Why don't I get us going with number 1, which is somewhat obvious. Men are different, so be patient. Be patient. Men are different. Well, what's at the root of that? Well, the root is when we have something, whether it's a men's breakfast, a men's outing, a men's retreat, a men's seminar, or an Iron Sharpens Iron conference. Be patient. Men are different. Just the fact that we're doing something, we put up a poster, we make an announcement, we slap up a PowerPoint slide. Don't expect men to run to the back of the sanctuary or into the foyer or on their phone to sign up. Be patient. Men are different. There are constituencies in your church, women, maybe even couples, certainly youth, that will sign up at the first sign of anything, the first mention of anything, put me down. But be patient. Men are different. Well, Thomas, Rex, how do you see men being different here?
Good, John.
One of the things One of the things I've always noticed in the differences between men and women when it comes to socially, men need a reason to gather. Women just need an excuse. Women will get together just for the sake of getting together. But men, and I think one of the reasons why is because we have so many responsibilities, so many things already on the schedule, so many things we have to filter through that we kind of need to get there. But at the end of the day, I think it's kind of baked in the male cake that we kind of need a reason to get together. Men kind of need a reason to do most everything.
And, the other thing, too, is, as we were talking earlier, is men have got so many things that they need to run it through. We call it the grid, and with the grid, you got the family things, you got the work things, you got the little league things, you got all these other things that you have coming at you. And now you have to run it through a grid to see really what is going to be the most valuable of your time. And, and I can tell you is I know the little league games are important and the things are important, but there's something that happens when you come with an open spirit and a willing mind. There's something that happens when you come to a men's conference or to a men's event or something like that doesn't happen anywhere else. So, and one other part too is guys, don't get frustrated if you only have first 10 guys or so for the first few weeks. Because guys are running it through those grids, like I said, in the last minute of signing up, so just make sure and that you're, don't get frustrated and take it out on the guys. Let them run it through the grids and keep letting them know that signups are available. So.
Right. Well said. And again, men are different. There are exceptions, but most men in your local church don't have a strong propensity to gather. Like Rex and Thomas said, they're not waiting for this next gathering, and I can't wait till the men get together again. That's usually not happening. So be patient. Men are different. Get the word out there, plant the seed, but be patient. Men are different. That's tip number one. Let's go to tip number two. When you're doing something for men, you need visibility. And when I talk about visibility, it's not just something you announce to the limited guys who come to the men's breakfast. It's not just that e-blast to the guys. A men's event needs to be recognized by the entire church body. Everybody needs to know this is going on, because in reality, when you release a dad, when you recruit a dad, it should and it does impact everybody. So you need visibility up front. I would call this Sunday morning visibility. I know churches have rules, but sometimes you're going to have to break the rules if you expect something different to happen. If we're going to reach, disciple, and equip men, we may have to do something a little bit different. You absolutely need visibility. Okay, Thomas, Rex, how do you see this working out?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when we create things and stuff like that, we create PowerPoints where you can put them up on the slides and you scroll or whatever you want to do. One of the greatest things is have guys that are talking to other guys about the conference. One of the things that we do at my church is we take the posters and put them in the men's restrooms. It gives them something to do, and we actually find out that's probably one of the best advertisements too that we have is the visibility in there. And I want to push it one step further is certain things we will put one in the women's restroom as well. And the reason we do that is because when the woman says you're going to this, you're probably going.
Yeah.
So so don't be afraid of putting a men's event thing in the women's restroom. Just be afraid of the men that the wives are going to come and get their guys. So Thomas, what do you?
Yeah, number one, for me, one of the big things is offer to do the work. So if you want to get some visibility from the pulpit, maybe put together a 10-second, 20-second video that can be shown during announcements. Maybe write a short announcement for whoever's doing the announcements. Find a couple of allies in the church. Find a couple of guys who are committed to men's ministry, to use them to spread the word around. But the big thing is understand that your pastor, your church leadership team is not looking for more things to do or more things to promote. So do what you can to do the legwork. Come with the legwork, not just with the ideas, but willing to do the legwork.
It's a good word. Do the work for church leadership. Put it together. Don't put it on them. Give them something complete. But you do need visibility, and men will quickly delete something if it doesn't come across in their mind as professional, well done. This is not something you do with a church copier in black and white. One of the things we do with Iron Sharpens Iron, we'll put things in your hands.
Yep.
They're full color glossy. You just let us know, and we'll send you a packet. Go to ironsharpensiron.net, request a packet, and we'll send you that. So that's tip number two. You need visibility. Number one, be patient. Men are different. Number two, you need visibility. Number three, Iron Sharpens Iron, for example, or any men's ministry on Saturday is not Sunday ministry. It's not a Sunday service. Some guys, again, they're just looking at what they can see. They've never been before. They're thinking, okay, I come to church on Sunday. Now you want me to come on Saturday and spend a better part of a day there. I'm really not interested in that. So somehow we've got to quickly differentiate what goes on Saturday and how it's different from Sunday. And, one of the ways that I've seen for a guy who's never been there is we use these seminars. So you'll see on the back of your posters, your flyers, of a list of topics, because, for instance, at Iron Sharpens Iron, you get to choose your seminar. At Sunday, you don't get to choose much, but on Saturday, you get a choice of seminars that are specific to men, and you choose what you want to do. Again, that's Saturday ministry. That's Sunday ministry. It's important that you help men see Saturday is different from Sunday. Okay, Rex Thomas, what do you think?
Go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, I tell you what, here's the thing on that. I have a line that I use in regards to iron sharpens iron in men's ministry in general. And the line is never have so many know so little about so much. Because Saturday at an Iron Sharpens Iron conference is different. And unless you make folks aware of that, they'll never understand that. So first you start with understanding the fact that people don't understand that there is a difference.
Right.
Certain things you can talk about on a Saturday, you can't talk about on a Sunday. These are targeted seminars, just targeted issues that we know men are dealing with. Everyone knows that men are dealing with. These are questions that men are asking that aren't answered on a Sunday because they can't be answered on a Sunday. So I think that at the rates of talking about the obvious, I think that the key is just understanding, personally having an understanding of the fact that Saturday is different. You need to be able to communicate that in a strong way.
Yeah, and to me, and one of the other parts of it too that I really like is the worship. You know, it's so funny is because you get a guy there, and I mean, some of these guys. I mean, I don't mean this in a harm way, but some of them just cannot sing. But on Saturday, they're belting it out.
Right.
I mean, they have got it going on. Where on Sunday, they probably only move their lips. You know, and so and worship just takes on a whole different perspective too. When you've got hundreds and hundreds of guys in a room singing men's songs, singing worship songs, you know, and I think the other thing too that I really like about, you know, where it's not Sunday is you get, like Brian said, you get to pick. You get nobody's reaching over your shoulder, nobody's doing anything. You get to pick what you need to go to, not what somebody else is just in a pulpit talking about.
Right. Well said. And you know, not only do you get to pick, is what Thomas said, we get to choose from things that are specific to men. There on Saturday, we're doing seminars and training for husbands, not spouses. It's not marriage ministry. It's husband, how to be a husband. It's fatherhood. It's not being a parent. It's being a dad. How's a dad different? It's not just strongholds. We're talking about sexual lust, destructive anger, the things that men wrestle with. That stuff just doesn't happen on a Sunday morning from the pulpit or in a Sunday school class. We need to get men to the Saturday ministry of Iron Sharpens Iron and things like it if we expect to deal with them as men. All right, so that's tip number 3. Differentiate Saturday from Sunday. Now, like Thomas said, you don't know what you don't know. Guys are making assumptions. It's our job to deal with those assumptions. Okay, let's look at tip number 4, the personal invite. First of all, here's what a personal invite is not. And I know what I've done this. I've made this error. I've sent out an e-blast, and I've informed the men of my congregation something that's coming up. I maybe sent it. It's been a creative e-blast, but I sent it out. So then I get very little response. We make an announcement from the platform, as we talked about. You need visibility. All the men were there. They heard it. So we've done it from the pulpit. We've done it from the computer. What more could you want? Everybody knows about it, but it's not a personal invite. There's nothing quite like the personal invite. Thomas, Rex, share some thoughts on that.
Well, one of the things that my church uses, and it just works, and actually Iron Sharpens Iron uses it too, is when we create business card on the front, a very simple logo. For this one, this is just my church. And on the back of it, it's got the information about the event and a QR code. You know, Vista Print, $4.99, you get 500 of them, you know. And you just get your leadership team and your other guys to walk around with these cards and just hand them to guys. And the QR code on the back of it makes it very simple to go right into the registration page. I mean, we have just found out is that just a personal invite with a moment, handing a guy a business card is absolutely a phenomenal way to get guys to come to your events and things like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll say, I have to admit, for looking at the 6 tips that we're talking about, personally, this is probably the one that has affected me the most, that has really resonated with me. So I've been, as you guys know, and many of you who listen to our broadcast know, I've been attending Iron Sharpens Iron conferences since there's been an Iron Sharpens Iron conference. And I just noticed the difference between me giving a guy a personal invite and me handing them something or some generic piece. We're just having a generic conversation. My personal invite, first off, it communicates a personal interest in the guy. It also gives me an opportunity to make a personal connection with the guy to the conference. Maybe I know something that he's going through in life. Maybe I know that he's a worshiper and he loves worship. Oh, I know a particular speaker who's going to be there who I know he would just get along with well. The last conference we had, the one we had recently with Matt and help me out, Matt and his partner, Josh, the guys from Force. Yeah, there you go. I had 3 young guys from my church that I invited personally to meet Matt and Josh. And they just connected so well. So experientially for me, this has been probably the best tip. Yes, is making personalization.
I want to add just one other thing too is we created a flyer this year, and we created it intentionally where you have the conference information on the front, but on the back, if you flip it over, there's a list of the AM and PM seminars with a small picture of each guy. We created this with the intention of being a great tool that you could put it in your pocket, and as you're talking to a guy, you can pull it out and say, "Hey, man, they've got this seminar here for you."
Right.
You know, this seminar.
The key is you use the tool. We've created the tools at ironsharpensiron.net. You click on that conference and you just go to a Dropbox folder, and we've got a bevy of tools, but the tools don't work unless you use them.
Yes.
And when we talk about the personal invite, it means I go up to Thomas and I invite Thomas to go to the conference with me. Hey, let's do this together. Maybe let's meet for coffee. Or you get a couple guys like Rex, Joe, Pete, Frank. Hey, let's meet at the church. We'll get a little coffee. Maybe we'll have a donut or a breakfast sandwich and we'll head out together. We'll meet at our church. We head out together. Guys want to do this together. Do not expect men to show up at an off-site event on their own. It's not happening. Yep. Men want to go together. It's going to take a personal invite. So that's tip number 4. Okay, let's take another one. Tip number 5. Iron Sharpens Iron, for instance, is an experience. It's not just a content dump. Yes, there's content for sure. Yes, there's brotherhood for sure. But it's an experience. It's what is a conference? Well, a conference for men is a time where we gather and we sharpen one another. People ask me, what's the theme of the conference? I go, well, it's Iron Sharpens Iron. And we do it on site at the conference. We do it during break times. We do it as we walk to lunch. We do it during lunch. We experience the conference together. If it wasn't designed to be an experience, we would just send you links and you could listen to messages and trainings. Yeah, it's more than that. It's personal time with the speakers. This is a conference where you interact with the men who are leading, the men from the platform. It's going with your brothers in Christ from your local church. It's meeting a couple new guys, but it's an experience, a relational experience. So what do you guys have on that?
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, 2 things, Brian. You kind of mentioned both of them. Number 1 is the energy. You know, the energy is kind of hard to communicate what the conference feels like when you're talking to a guy. But once they are there, that energy is just tremendous. And it's just great seeing guys connecting. A guy who did not know a guy now knows a guy, and they really start to become almost friends for life. I've seen that time and time again where connections are made. But you made a comment that I want to highlight a little bit. You have access to the speakers. And the guys who are speaking are passionate about what they're speaking about. So speakers don't come with a mindset that we're the experts. We come with the mindset that we're on the journey with you. and we're speaking out of that. We're speaking out of that journey, and that's invaluable. I mean, most men's conferences like this, you don't get access to the people, so to the speakers and to the presenters. So that's huge.
Well, I've got to go a whole different way is because one of my favorite parts is the coffee in the morning, the standing around, talking to the other guys, talking to guys that I haven't seen since last year and meeting new guys and things like that. But my favorite part of the day is after the morning keynote, after the morning seminars, lunch. I don't eat typically whatever the Iron Sharpens Iron has. I go in the parking lot. I love to go in the parking lot because some of these guys, they bring grills and they cook hot dogs. Some of these guys, they set up a table and they have a salad bar where guys create their own subs and things like that. And going out there and just talking to these guys and hanging out with these guys sometimes, it is the coolest moments, and I mean, I love to watch these guys roll into the parking lot, take their tent, set it up, get it ready, put the table out, and get everything ready for lunch.
That's good.
I'll tell you what, if you go to a seminar, you already have talking points for your lunchtime.
Right.
In lunchtime and the ride home, that's where brothers are really built.
Yep.
And I would just to reinforce what you're saying, Rex and Thomas, lunch is, it's a big ministry time. It can be a big ministry time.
Yes.
I think I probably assumed it would be until I realized we all need reminders. If you're a pastor, elder, overseer, deacon, men's leader, this is your moment, lunchtime. This is when you shepherd God's flock that's under your care. You don't just forget the content dump. Ask guys what seminar you went to. Pray with them. Pray for them. The ministry happens on site. Once we go home, it's hard to regather and get it together. So you want to be doing ministry on site and experience it together. And that's tip number 5. Let's close out. Again, this is 6 tips. 6th tip is a big one. I call it men understand deadlines. Rex mentions at the beginning that, be patient, men are different. Well, all that said, they do understand deadline. Everybody understands deadline, men especially. When you give men a deadline, then you stick with it. You point them to it. You let them know we got a week left before you're going to make a decision. How's it looking? Are you going to be joining us? Which is another key point. Ask men to join you. Don't point men to the event. Use language like, are you going to be able to join us? Can you join me? Would you come with me? But understand that men will put things off, and sometimes it's a good reason. They'll put things off because their kids have stuff going on, their wife has stuff going on, they've got work responsibilities, home responsibilities. It's not like men have nothing going on. It will put things off, and so finally, it's the Holy Spirit that will convince and convict them that they need a resource like this. Okay, understanding deadlines. What do you think, Rex and Thomas?
Yeah, for me, a deadline can really get you frustrated as a leader, and don't let it get you frustrated. And one of the other things that I like to say is let guys know there's a cost. If you miss the deadline, there's a cost. And if you really want to be a good steward, is buy an extra ticket or two, for that guy that's coming in late. And if you don't use the ticket, bring it to me at the desk. Okay. Because there's always a guy that comes in at the last minute that finds out about the conference on a Friday night, comes in, and I cannot tell you how many guys that I've had walk up to me that's opened up his wallet and there's nothing inside of it. Mm-hmm. So buy the ticket. If you buy an extra ticket, bless somebody with an extra ticket, because I guarantee you it's going to be used, and it'll be used wisely, and it'll be used good. And I'll give you a quick story. We had a guy in White Plains that walked up, and the guy looked at me, and he handed me a card, and he took his card back, and I knew something was up. And I had a ticket laying there that a church dropped by, and I said, man, just go enjoy the conference. He went inside, He caught me at the end of it, tears running down his face, and he said, "This was a life-changing day."
It's good.
Guys, I do them, okay? And I see what happens. I hear what happens. I see stories. Don't come in there and thinking that it's just going to be another day. Let it be a life-changing day.
Right.
So,
Amen. Yeah, and on this point, we haven't brought it up, but this is a great point to bring up prayer. Pray for guys as you talk about the deadlines, because understand that there's a measure of spiritual warfare that's going on. There'll be no lack of distractions. There'll be no lack of good and maybe even great distractions that will take them away from the conference. But this is a great place to really lean into prayer and to pray for guys and pray that God would even supernaturally open up opportunities for them to go that they don't see. But just lean in. I think with this tip, it's important to lean into prayer. But guys do need deadlines. They do need to be reminded. They want to, and that's a good way for us to serve them.
Yeah.
Is to remind them about that.
Well, and as Rex said, there are deadlines. That's why we're communicating deadlines. We want men to register as a group at the church, So you register with your church, often near the end, but you want to make sure that you invite guys to register. You don't want to just point them to Iron Sharpens Iron. That doesn't work. That's completely ineffective. What you want to do is ask them, would you join me to go into the conference? And you put their name down, they put their name down. You get a sign-up sheet, a sign-up board, some tool. You decide what it is, but you gather the men together. The conference's design is a resource for your church to bring men. So to do it together as a church. Okay, so these are the 6 tips. They're also right there posted. You'll get access to them. We'll put them in the packet that you request. Remember, if you want a packet, go to ironsharpensiron.net and just request the packet. We look forward to seeing you at a conference this year at Iron Sharpens Iron. God bless you guys.
bless you.
God bless, guys.
Good job. Yep. Have a good one, guys.